Hi everyone, welcome to Chris's Curated Life. I'm Krista and I'm a part-time reseller on websites like Poshmark and eBay. Today is a What's Sold video, and do I have some good sales for you? We're going to be going over sales for October 5th through 11th. I was gone on a work trip, but I left my stores open. Well, eBay, I said I was away. And then Poshmark, if people bought it, I messaged them if it was like earlier in the week I was gone. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I was gone 5 days. And everyone was really great about it, and I kept really good sales, but I messaged people if it was longer than shipping it for like a day or two. So anyway, I had a total profit of $1,090.73, a profit of $717.17. I had 27 sales, which is bananas, with an average sales price of $40.40. I don't think I've ever had a $40 ASP before, and we have a lot of good big ticket items. So why don't you say we hop on into it and get this party started? So our first sale is going to be this Victoria's Secret midi dress. You can do what you want to do. I find that I can mark these ones up a decent. The slip dresses that are like minis, I normally get like $18 to like $22 for those. They don't sell for a lot. But the midi dresses, I frankly feel like I sold this one at the high end. I sold this one for $34, which is the high end of what I can get. It sold after 56 days. This was a bins find, and so after all was said and done, I took home $25.20. Very happy with that one. This next sale is a little funny, I think. This is a Swix women's cross-country skiing pants. I also put Gorp Core, and they are zip-off, so I did fully note that. I grew up Nordic skiing. These weren't like a really modern style, but I know that these are really expensive. And so I grabbed them and I did list them in summer. So they took 80 days to sell, but they sold on eBay for my full asking price of $20.90. And I made $18.16. So Swix, I would keep out an eye for that brand. It's an outdoors brand, but it's more of like an outdoor winter like sport brand. So specifically, I feel like their pants do sell the best, just because they're really good quality. I had like a pair or two and they lasted years and years and years. This next sale is a Hannah Anderson girls skater dress. I sold this for $18, which is kind of crazy to me. It sold after 17 days. I thought it was super cute, had some washwear to it, but it was like a baby. Like it was 12 to 18 months. So the fact that that sold for $18, I'm happy about. I got that at the bins, so I took home $12.40. Next, we have an Old Navy denim bib overalls. I did have these listed for 123 days, and I took a low offer. I feel like I probably had these listed for like 22 or 24. Overalls have a really good sell-through rate in general, so you can pick them up in a few brands. And this one technically had 100% sell-through rate, but it was like there was one listed and one sold on eBay. So not like a good sell-through rate. Here's what was wrong about these overalls. I did put in Cowgirl, which may have helped, but they were a size 0, which that's not necessarily a deterrent, but they were like a more slim leg, and I think if they would have been relaxed, they would have sold a lot faster. So they sold after 123 days for $12. I took home $7.05. Still got that $40 ASP though, don't you worry. This next one is a Lululemon Ebb to Street tank top. I have like 10 or 11 of these. This one was the first to sell, and I actually had 2 to sell this week. I did lower the price a little bit because I think it was too high. Sold after 59 days for $28. I did have $10 into this, so I took home $12.40. Not bad. This next sale I thought would go for more, and I guess I had just cross-listed it because it had been listed on other platforms for a while. Sometimes I'm always like, when Nifty tells me days listed on here, I'm like, is it right? This is a Polo Ralph Lauren men's reversible belt. I had this one listed for a while, I would say a few months, but I must have just cross-listed it to Depop. Depop. It sold after 7 days for $16. I actually did have a decent amount of interest specifically on Depop. I made $11.54. I do want to note that Depop just increased their promoted rate from 8% to 10%. So now we're at like 13% because I like promote my whole closet there. So Depop's getting more expensive, or like there's more fees. So choose what you wish to do with promoted. I personally like the way eBay does promoted because you'll only get charged that if they clicked on a promoted listing, because you can like find things naturally. What I can see from Depop, everything's just like a flat rate. Our next order was also a Depop sale. This is an Everlane, the boxy recycled cashmere wool sweater. I put quiet luxury and cottagecore just because of like the pink color. It sold after 53 days. This sweater did not have a good sell-through rate at all, but because it had cashmere in it and it was actually a recent style in Everlane, don't quote me because I'd have to go look at the tag, but it was either like I think it was 2024, and it was in like new condition. I ended up selling on Depop for $32. This was a bins find. It sold promoted, so I took home $25.67. Okay, I think this is not my highest sale this week, which is crazy because I had like 2 or 3 really high sales. This is a vintage Yves Saint Laurent plaid pleated skirt. I put 25 schoolgirl. I should have put preppy, but I listed this 716 days ago. A long time. I've had this for almost 2 years. So I would have redone those keywords now. I think there's an offer I got a long time ago. I had this listed a lot higher before, and I probably should have taken that order at the time because that would have been like a year and a half ago. I sold this for $128 on eBay. I mean, the fees, it did sell promoted. So like the standard fees was like $19, and the promoted fee, I promoted like 8%-ish. I do the dynamic ad rate and I cap it from like 6 to 10. Like my dynamic is 2%. If you guys want me to explain that sometime, I can. I don't know that I have eBay figured out, so I can't give that much advice. But anyway, I had gotten this one from a friend. She never wore it. Her mom gave it to her. So I made $97.76. Next, we have a Kendra Scott Eleanor drop earrings. If you've seen my videos, I sold like a bazillion of these, I feel like. This one sold on Poshmark after 61 days for $30. I took home $15. My cost of goods was $9 in that, mostly because I kind of got it on wholesale. Next, we have an Athleta Contender sports bra. It's a size small, black leopard, multi-print. This one didn't sell for very much, and I should have looked up the sell-through rate before I purchased it. I am kind of picky with Athleta sports bras. It did sell after 61 days for $12, but I only made $7.05. It's fine. What's actually interesting about this one is I think this woman has 2 accounts or something. I'm not entirely sure. So this was listed for like $16 or something. And someone came in and offered like 8 or 9. And I countered to 12, like 12, because it would be like 9, 10. And I was like, I want 12 for this. Please give me some dignity. And then I swear the same person did the same thing, but it wasn't in the same message. So I don't know if she had 2 accounts. And so like a few days later, someone came back and did the same thing. And I was like, it's 12. I'm selling this for $12. So all is said and done, I made $7.05 off that. Was it a win? I don't know. Other big seller for the week. This is I only had $20 into that. This is an Alice and Olivia dress. It's the Santa Monica Delora midi bodycon floral dress. It was a size 12. This sold after 30 days on Poshmark for $125. There's actually kind of a story on this one first, so I'll share it in a minute. I got this at Turnstile. I actually did pay cash for it because I didn't have any store credit at the time. So I had $20 into it. I made $80, which was frankly really great. I love when I can flip things like that. Anyway, the story that goes along with it is there was this woman that was like incessantly messaging me about the skirt. And she was like, would you take $100? And I had been getting a lot of attention on this dress. And so I was like, no, sorry, that's not an offer I'll consider. And then she was like, I think she might have offered lower first. But anyway, she was like, would you take 125? And I was like, would you take 125? And I don't know if she asked me to hold it because she was like, in that amount, I can pay for it in 4 payments. Look, no one has to listen to anything I say. However, I just like the thought of someone making payments on a dress. I'm like, I just can't. I can't do it. Like, I get that Klarna does help people, but I'm like, I don't think you need this dress. And I literally I just felt bad. And then someone came in and bought it. Like literally bought it like 3 hours later. And that situation just stressed me out because she had really nice things on her page. And I will say sometimes I do go and look at people's pages, like when you have high-end designer things and then they lowball you, and then you go to their page and they're expecting a lot of money for their designer pieces. I'm always like, interesting. It was a really cute dress. I actually almost wore it to a wedding, but it wasn't that flattering on me. It wasn't like very good for my coloring. That's my hot take on like Klarna. I think there are benefits to it, but I'm like, please don't make payments on this dress. Please don't. There's so many more. I mean, I don't want to yuck anyone's yum. It was a really beautiful dress. And maybe that's because I'm cheap as heck. So could just be me. The next sale is a second Lululemon Ebb to Street tank. This one sold after 60 days for $25. I had $10 into this one from a regular Goodwill. I made $11.48. I got like 8 of those left. Next one is a Happiest Baby I don't know how to pronounce it, sleep sack. I'm not sure how these work, but I thrifted like 3 or 4 of them. I didn't know if they were like one of those ones where you like strap it into a bassinet. I couldn't figure it out, but they have a good sell-through rate, so I don't ask any more questions. They sold after 13 days for $13, and Binsbind I took home at $9.18. Next is a women's pair of dance studio joggers. These were mid-rise. I remember these weren't in fantastic condition when I got them, so I just spent a lot of time sweater shaving them. I couldn't believe they took so long to sell. It took 118 days and they sold for $27. I got them at the bins, so I made $19.60. I do have to say that dance studio is a pretty popular style. And there are other ones. I think it probably had to do with the size of it. Check the sell-through rate. I'm sure I just tossed it in and didn't even look at it. Next, we have another Hannah Anderson dress. This is a Girls Love to Tour velour velvet dress. It was a size 12. This one sold after 6 days on eBay for $16.92. I made $11.46. Next, another killer sale. This is a Nick and Nora pajama set. It has flamingo snow Airstream. They're 100% cotton. They were size 3X, which is phenomenal, and they were in really good condition. I think I listed on the high end of comps or above comps on this one. They sold on Poshmark for $70. I got these at the bins, so I took them $52, which is really great. Wow, this is like, I sold something squiggly and I sold some things that I've had for a really long time. These are Paige Bridget jeans. I don't know how to pronounce it by this style. The only reason I picked these up is because they were a cropped raw hem. I don't like to pick up that many distressed things anymore. And to be honest, these had a little bit of a flare to them, and I feel like that might be a keyword that I missed. If you pick up Paige jeans, I would just check the sell-through rate because they've really gone down in sell-through rate, but they're really nice jeans. The one thing about Paige specifically is that they use a lot of elastic and spandex in their jeans, or whatever, one of them, like a very stretchy fabric, and they're really prone to like what's the word for it? Like the rippling in the jeans wherever they're tight and stretched out. So these sold after 419 days. I got an offer for $15 and I took it. I made $9.48. I had them for over a year. Not a good sale. This next one is a Hannah Anderson baby boy bundle. They were all sleepers. This was 12 to 18 months. This one had a Halloween one in it, so I got it listed super quick. It sold after 4 days on eBay for $14.37. I count my cost of goods on each of these as $2, so my total cost of goods was $6. Apparently I made $3.24, which seems wrong. Oh, I mean, it's so promoted. Obviously, I like made more money on it than that. Next are Ralph Lauren women's wool pants. They were definitely like a vintage style. I've had these for a while. For me. I had these for 63 days, but I did list them in summer. When I got these home, I realized that they had a tiny hole in them, which happens a lot with old or vintage wool pieces. But they still sold on Poshmark for $25. I took home 18. Those were Ben's find. Next, I was hoping to get a little bit more for this sweater, but I was happy to make space in a bin. This is a Blarney Woolen Mills sweater. It said on it superfine merino wool. I also put Fisherman. Is cable knit 2 words or 1? Cable knit is really popular. So if you have a sweater with cable knit, definitely put cable knit in the comments, and Fisherman as well. This sold after 63 days for $35. I took home 26 bucks. That's all on Poshmark. Next, this is a St. James cardigan sweater. I thought this one was in really good condition. It did have 2 tiny pulls in the fabric, but I just got one of those like fabric pull through things. So I won't have to list those flaws anymore because I'll be able to fix them. This was a size 14 and it felt like really good quality. It sold after 49 days for $35 on Poshmark. I took home $26. This is our last big sale. Well, I had other big sales, but this was a really good, my best sale of the week, which is crazy considering I had 2 items that were like $125. This is a Rick Owens women's strobe sweater, and it said the style right on it. It even said the season. When I picked this up, I felt like it was really good quality. I've never heard of this brand. It was 100% wool. I put quiet luxury, lightweight. This woman did ask me some questions on it, and I did answer them. And I mean, normally that means they're going to return it, but you can't return on Poshmark. I guess she could find a way to force it. So I hope that, I think she lowballed me too. She was like, would you take $100? And I was like, no, because I had this listed for like $200. And then my automatic, like it sent her an offer of $158 and she took it. So yay. I also put, if I didn't mention, I put quiet logo. Oh no, I did. Just because this was a designer brand, it sold for $158. I took home $124.40 because I got this at the bins. So definitely keep an eye out for that item. I sold a Rock Revival women's Celine jean denim shorts. If they have a flat pocket, I do try to mention that. And then Westerns are really popular right now, so I threw that in there. This sold the day I listed it on Depop for $25, which to sell shorts in the middle of October for 25 bucks, that's really good. At least in my eyes, I made $19.39. Really happy with that sale. Next, I have a Farm Rio Heart Deco Geo mini skirt. This one was really, I don't think it's that cute. It's not my style. Like it's a very pretty piece, very well made. It had like one tiny spot on it. I was surprised that comps weren't that high in this. This sold after 9 days for $54.90. I got this at the bins, and I took home $44.06. The next one I have an asterisk with. This is an American Eagle Y2K Baby Doll tank top. And the lace, the baby doll, the fact that it's vintage American Eagle, I actually just packaged this up earlier. I realized that it had a tiny hole in this. This sold after 9 days on Depop for $16.90. I took home $12.34. However, this got picked up in the algorithm. It had like 20,000 impressions. I was like, will someone please buy this tank top? And so I messaged her and I'm going to give her a partial refund for it. That's what she wanted. I'm really glad she messaged me before I shipped it out. I would have waited on it, but I'm going on a trip, so I'm really glad I heard from her right away. Our last sale for the week is an exclusively Mistook women's pants. I've never sold this brand before. I've heard of it. I've heard really good things, and frankly, I looked up the sell-through rate, and I was like, this is not good. I did have to do measurements for size on these. They were an extra large, which I thought was really good. They sold after 65 days on eBay for $24.90. I took them $18.31. So that was overall a good sale. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be real with y'all. The last sale is a Comfort brand dog hoodie in a small. It's in excellent use condition. I had this listed on eBay. It sold for $16.07, which was 15% off for Lakers. And guys, I'm going to sound so sad when I say this. I can't find it. I dug through all of my bins. I know it's still in my house. I haven't sold it yet. So I have to cancel an eBay sale. It's so sad. But anyway, thank you guys for watching and tuning in for a crazy week of sales. Super exciting when I have a sales week like this. I'm only listing 3 items a day, so very happy with the results. If you like this video, give it a like. I'd love to hear what your guys' best sale was this week, or the favorite thing you sold, the thing that you're so happy to finally leave your closet. But anyways, I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.